This episode of LTF once again is brought to you by Helios Micro Water, and you can find them online at Helios Water Group, the number 5.webs.com. And Helios Water is treated tap water that has added alkaline for many health benefits. You can find them online again at www.helioswatergroup, the number 5.webs.com. Find their phone number there. Order your Helios water, mention the word freedom, and get 10% off of 10 bottles or more. We are also brought to you by WillPowered FitTraining, and you can find them online at www.willpoweredfittraining.webs.com. And set up your appointment there, $10 sessions, and mention the word freedom, and get your first session free for new customers. That's it, short and sweet. And let's get on with the show.
You're listening to Let's Talk Freedom Radio, defeating the New World Order, one podcast at a time.
Hello and welcome once again to another episode of LTF, Let's Talk Freedom. My name is Robert Cancel, and I will be your host this evening, and I'm joined by my co-host here, Mr.
Joseph Werner.
All right. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us once again. Really exciting episode today. We're going to have a call-in guest this evening. He has his own conservative YouTube blog channel, Mr. Bert Powers, and you can search him on YouTube under John Barleycorn. I think it's really fun and interesting, so I can't wait to talk to him. I'm sure he'll be alluding to why he switched his name from Bert Powers to John Barleycorn on YouTube. So it should be some interesting stuff there. We'll be talking about also the so-called war on terror. The war in Syria, the war on ISIS, the Libertarian view of Non-Interventionism.
It's not that we don't intervene, it's just we don't believe in blowing up and collateral damage towards innocent people.
Well, yeah, well, absolutely, exactly, and that's when, I mean, that's just the title that they give it, of course, because everything has to have a title, as you know, and all that means, as far as non-interventionism, is just we don't want to invade and bomb countries that are not a direct threat to us and haven't done anything to us.
No, I agree, because when I walk down the street, if every person that looked at me that I felt intimidated by or could possibly hurt me in the future, if I attacked them, what kind of a world would we live in? Because I also would fall into that category myself. Right. Somebody would say, that guy looks intimidating. He has, cauliflowered ears, or I don't like his beard.
Right.
And they attack me, and there's a justification for it because you possibly may have harmed me in the future.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I see it.
Right, sure, exactly. And I mean, some people can make the argument that, no, we're receiving direct threats. And that may be the case, but you know what? We've always received direct threats.
We've received direct threats since we were in high school, right? Like, how many people, I'm going to jump you after school. Right. And it's like, okay, as soon as you show up, then I'll start swinging.
Right.
We didn't go attack their family.
Exactly.
We didn't go take their mother hostage, put guns to her head, and blow up her children,
Yeah.
did we? No, it's just there's reality to deal with. And, I keep getting stuck up in this stupid do unto others as I want them to do unto me.
I know, right?
What is
are you
my
thinking?
problem? I don't know, man. It could have been the toothpaste. It could have been...
That damn fluoride. After chasing that fluoride dragon. Man, I'm telling you.
It's not a habit.
we'll just stick with the wine and the moonshine, and we'll be okay. But yeah, and I mean, it's so funny, like we were discussing earlier about the hypocrisy, from liberals and Democrats, who were all up in arms when it was, Bush wanting to go to war, or any other Republican president that's ever wanted to go to war, and then when they get their guy that they pushed so hard for in office, whose a major part of his campaign was to end wars and won the Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize, which that was, everybody knew that was a joke. Who had a lot of common sense.
Depreciate it and devalue it
right?
eternally.
Exactly, much like he has the dollar. Oops, did I say that out loud? But yeah, and now that he's he's constantly contradicted himself and getting, we're pretty much on the cusp of all out war. Obviously, we're about to have boots on the ground, and you don't hear word one. You don't hear a single complaint. At least I haven't from any.
No,
any
silent obedience.
Yeah.
Silent obedience.
Absolutely. I was reading an article about Barbara Streisand, referring to Obama as God, and
are you joking?
He's like a god, and he's a king, and he's like a god, and he's like a king. Something along those lines. Yeah,
you know what?
It's the complete.
And see, this is why I'm against fluoride. And how do you come to that place where you see him like that? Yeah. Like, if I could, I would.
Well, anyone like that, really. I mean, if you know anything about the way that our country and our political system is supposed to be run, to have that opinion, that even if you believe that a certain individual, let's put aside the realities of his policies, and even if you believe that person to be some kind of holier than thou, almost omnipotent being, if you know what our political system is supposed to be based on, those words that should be poison on your lips to even utter those words, because that's exactly what this country was founded on, to be exactly anti any kind of monarchy, let alone a god.
Yeah. Yeah, the people are supposed to be empowered, not an individual or a group of individuals, like the people themselves. Right. Yeah, I don't know how we came to this place, but I cannot fathom, like me in my personal life, I don't esteem anybody that high. Right. Nobody. I enjoy my relationships with people. There are people that I have that are clients of mine that are in major positions of power, and they're just people. And sometimes I think, because I'm not rich, I'm very poor actually, and I look at the way they treat me, and I think sometimes maybe it's because I treat them as a human, like a normal person. Like, you're not special, you're you, and you will treat me the way I want to be treated, but I will also treat you back with that same respect. And I think because of that, they keep me around, because these are definitely like 7-figure people. Well, yeah, and I mean, I believe I'm not even 6,
and I hear you. Yeah, you and me both. But I believe that people in that capacity of life tend to have a little bit more respect for individuals that treat them that way, that realize that yes, they are just blood and bones and skin, air breathing human beings.
It takes a while to get to that place.
Put each other on that level.
We all get starstruck at times,
right.
But the more you pay attention to things, that starts to go away over time. I got to be around people at an early age because my father worked so hard that I didn't realize where we were, but I knew the people that lived in these houses that were so surreal. And they were just normal people. And, the only difference was that their children could afford cocaine and not marijuana. Because the poor kids did the marijuana, the rich kids did the cocaine.
Sure.
And there was no difference between the two, though. Just what they could afford. Same vices, same problems, same misery, same depressions, or same happiness, if you will.
Same happiness, right.
So,
as a former pot user myself, I can tell you that as a former pot user and coke user, I can certainly tell you that.
What's all this then?
I know, right? That for me and anyone that I know that's dabbled in both, that there's definitely a significant difference in regards to happiness versus misery between the two. And large part of that has to do with the income involved, or the cost involved, rather.
Absolutely.
But also the the addictive natures and so on. I'm a huge, even though I don't partake in any drugs whatsoever now, except for alcohol occasionally.
Do you still brush your teeth?
I still brush my teeth with,
fluoride.
Unfortunately, fluoride, but I don't swallow. Much like
isn't that what the president
some other
Clinton
people
said?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that was I did not have sexual relations with that one. Okay, I thought you said I didn't swallow.
And she clearly didn't swallow because they had.
It's on her dress.
Yeah. Well,
can we go there? Oh
I don't
gosh.
think we can. Let's go.
All right, yeah. So not to stray off course. I've never been able to view a person that high esteem.
Right. Yes. Back to the point at hand. But But I'm a huge marijuana advocate as far as legalization or at least decriminalization. That's neither here nor there. I just wanted to.
No, it is. It's always relevant because it's a big issue in our society. Think of how many people are imprisoned because of simple marijuana.
Right.
And
the money that it costs to the average taxpayer to combat this drug in air quotations.
Exactly. And we all know people use drugs for different reasons, etc. And there's these horrible things, but it's such a hypocritical thing that we do with it because there are more. For instance, gross. We're drinking wine. It's legal. There are more wine-related accidents.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yep.
And we're not even going to go into beer or hard liquor.
Right. Than
for marijuana.
Sure. Yep.
So
it's like Cat Williams said, not a single person has ever died from smoking marijuana. Never. Never.
They thought they were, but
right. Yeah, I know. I did a few times. I came close. Oh my God, this is a little bit too strong. I think I'm having a heart attack. But I was just fine.
But did you die?
I was just fine.
Did you die? Chan die.
and the only thing that I could admit to honestly is that yes, I was a little bit burnt by the quantity I partook of at my early age. But for the most part, I think I came out pretty well, and I don't dabble anymore at all. 100% clean, and it's not because of any moral
agenda
decision, right? It was it's a combination of one. Honestly, my wife's just not having it. She's never taken.
God put her in your life for a reason.
Exactly. She's never done a drug in her life. She never will, and she regardless of how we think about it, she's just wanted in her life, and I can respect that. And then the other part of it is that I got in trouble, when I was younger in that regard, and I was forced to quit for about a year, and by the time it came around that I didn't have to not indulge anymore, I had no interest. So
good learning lesson.
I never went back, but but I'm still an advocate for legalization.
Be glad that didn't happen now, because if certain law enforcement would have saw you reach for maybe your ID, you might be dead. Right.
You saw the video. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, dude.
The poor guy got shot up.
You know what?
What we're talking about is the video of which you can find it online pretty easily. I'm sure probably anybody listening to shows have already seen it, but if there is anyone who hasn't, right? State trooper pulled over an African American gentleman in front of a gas station. You can see the video online. The guy got out of his car, which he probably shouldn't have, but he was clearly not doing anything wrong.
He's a pastor, right?
I don't know anything about the guy. I just know that he got out of the car. He didn't look threatening at all when he did step out of his vehicle before the troopers came to a full stop. The trooper got out of the car, said, "Show me your ID." The guy spun around to grab his ID out of the car, and the cop got jumpy and got scared and shot the guy 5 times.
Dude, it's so complicated because I watched the video and I see him reach into the car, and I can understand the state trooper's mindset. But it's based on speed. It wasn't based on anything else. And and then I can understand the gentleman's mindset. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be a good citizen. Let me just get my ID, and I'm going to give it to him. And he's like, oh my God.
He wanted to show no hesitation in getting his license because he knew he didn't do anything wrong. And because he showed no hesitation and spun around too quickly, made the cop a little jumpy, and it obviously was a little too trigger happy because of his training. Due to, I believe, the militarization.
I do think it was too fast, and I think it
was a combination. I think it was a bad combination of the two things. It was the gentleman spinning around to grab his license a little too fast because he was eager to show that he had nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And the cop who was too trigger happy because of his training and the obvious militarization of our police force in the United States.
Yeah, the mindset, the militarization, by the way, is a mindset that is being programmed into the community. And it creates. You have to do this. I don't want to jump too far in one direction. I do love this show because we were able to go in any direction we want to. That's the beauty of having our own show. If you don't like it, click off. But
don't.
Yeah, no. I know you guys are entertained. So this militarization, there's a book called On Killing. And the gentleman who wrote the book has done